bought the ugliest couch in the world. Well, correction, my wife bought it, but it was only 50 bucks and it's clean, and she claims it goes with our pink wall. So whatever, 50 bucks and it's clean. So on with tonight's topic. Hi. I want to talk to you about visualizations. There's a thousand ways to put it, and there's tons of techniques. The important thing is that you've got to spend some time internally. I mean, this can be meditation time, this can be affirmation time. You can spend the two separately or together, however you would like. But it's important that you internalize the concepts that you are learning. And in the context of physical training and skill training, this is particularly important. You have to deal with the idea that, learning physical ability is one thing, but the people who really truly excel are the people who live it, not just do it. Doing it's one thing, but living it is another thing. The people who live their skill are the ones who become truly great at their skill. And some of that aspect is the internalizing part, and one of the ways that you can internalize it is to use visualizations. In the somewhat lesser known but growing in popularity Casey fighting method, you might recognize it from the recent Christopher Nolan Batman movies, or the last two Mission Impossible movies, or Jack Reacher. Basically Tom Cruise and Christian Bale are the poster boys from Hollywood for the Casey fighting method. It's kind of bad when street fighting art gets popular through Hollywood. But anyway, they use visualization at the end of every lesson to take time to meditate and focus internally on the things that you learned just in that lesson. That's solid. Another thing to do is just kind of like daily visualizations of key concepts that you know you need to work on or focus on. My buddy that taught me jiu-jitsu used visualizations for grappling. I mean, he was active duty and then a contractor and needed, time to practice and didn't always have time to practice. And when he couldn't get physical time in, he would spend time on video and in mind and in mime, doing solo techniques, despite the fact not having a training partner or whatever. And this is very helpful. What this does is it sinks in neurologically the concepts that you are focusing on, the concepts that you are training. Anytime that you see martial artists or any other kind of skill athletes, watching tapes of their competition or of their masters or of other high-level performers or whatever, what they're doing is really studying and internalizing it. And they don't just watch it and be done with it. They watch it and then they rewatch it and they rewatch it, they take notes and they think about it, they contemplate on it, they go to bed thinking about it, they take a shower thinking about it, they brush their teeth thinking about it. Tell you what, I do a lot of thinking in the shower, but it's constantly in mind. And the idea of visualizations, it can be anything from a moment of silent, quiet meditation to, to just really daydreaming. And like I said, there are tons of techniques and methodologies out there, and you can pick whatever works well for you. But the idea is solid. You need more than just muscle work. You need neural work in order to really sink those skills in. So I suggest that you get the training you need, get the recommendations you need and all that, and then just go sit in a corner and think about it for a while. Parents used it as punishment, at least when I was a kid. Go sit in the corner and think about what you did. Well, this time do it for a positive purpose. Go sit in the corner and think about what you did, what you're going to do, what you need to do. I'll tell you this. My second cage fight, I won with a rear naked choke. In the week leading up to it, my thought was, I want to choke my opponent out. So I focused on getting a choke. I knew who my opponent was, but I didn't have any tapes to study or anything like that. But I wanted the choke, so I focused on it and I internalized it. My technique on the choke was perfect, and when the time came, because I was focusing on it, I knew what to look for when I was looking for it. So much of this mental gaming that we do, people will put, mystical terms to it, and they'll talk about the secret and all of this kind of stuff, and it's really none of that. It's just pure psychology. You focus on something long enough, your brain is going to rewire itself, and you're going to start looking for it. It's really a form of confirmation bias and emulation. If you don't know what those are, look them up. I don't really have time to talk about them at the moment. Maybe I'll cover that on Sunday. But the point is that emulation and confirmation bias are hugely, hugely, hugely important for how we remember and interpret and internalize things. And you want to create a situation, generally speaking, confirmation bias is a horrible thing. But in the case of this, you're creating an atmosphere where confirmation bias works in your favor. You're creating an atmosphere where you're going in looking for the thing that you want to happen. In this case, you're creating cause and effect, or you're creating a higher ratio, a higher potential for cause and effect to happen in your favor. So think about things, internalize things. It works. It really does help. There's no magic to it. There's no magic whatsoever to it. It's pure, simple, mechanical psychology. You focus on something long enough, your brain starts looking for it everywhere. You ever buy a new car, or, well, a car is the easy example. You ever notice that when you're buying the new car or shopping for a specific new car, that you start seeing that car everywhere? Because now that it's part of your map of the world, you see it everywhere because your brain goes, oh, I recognize that, that's familiar, that's something that I understand. And that's important, because when it comes down to winning a fight, timing is everything, but the timing only works when you have something to fill in that time with. So know what you're looking for and be able to take it. Recognize the gift. That's all I got for you. I'll talk to you later. Good journey. Fucking ugly couch.